They told you to wait, to grow wiser, richer, more ready. But what they never said is that waiting kills power. Because the world doesn't reward truth, it rewards illusion. It bows not to the man who is strong, but to the one who makes strength look inevitable. You don't rise when you earn it. You rise when you act like it. Every glance, every pause, every move is either a signal of control or a confession of weakness. From this moment, you stop waiting for proof. You become the proof. Because power isn't given to the deserving, it's surrendered to the convincing. Point 1. The law of perception. Power rewards. Illusion before reality. The world won't wait to see who you are. It reacts to who you appear to be. And the one who shapes perception shapes destiny. Power doesn't begin when you're ready. It begins the moment you look ready. That's the first illusion every man chasing greatness must understand. The illusion always comes before the crown. Look through history. Every king wore the crown before he earned it. Every leader spoke with confidence before he had proof. The illusion came first. The world adjusted second. This isn't deception, it's design. The world doesn't operate on truth. It operates on belief. And whoever commands belief commands reality. When Machiavelli wrote that appearance is stronger than truth, he wasn't glorifying lies. He was describing human psychology. People don't see you for what you are. They see you for what you signal. They don't study your depth. They respond to your surface. If you project uncertainty, you'll invite doubt. If you move like you belong, doors open. Confidence, posture, tone. These are the real currencies of influence. Before anyone trusts your skills, they trust your presence. Now here's the trap most fall into. They wait. They think power arrives after validation, after success, after applause. But waiting is submission disguised as patience. It's the slow death of potential. The powerful act as if the crown is already theirs. They speak slowly, move deliberately. Their calm says, "I don't need your approval." Their eyes say, "I've already decided who I am." And that certainty infects the room. Even skeptics begin to believe, because power feeds on belief. First yours, then theirs. The illusion becomes a feedback loop. You carry yourself with control. People treat you with respect. That respect strengthens your control, and the cycle repeats. You generate your own recognition. You teach the world how to see you, think about it. You walk into a guarded throne room. If you look uncertain, the guards stop you. If you look like you belong, they step aside. You didn't prove anything. You simply projected inevitability. And that's the secret. Power doesn't chase recognition. It creates it. You don't need to fake success. You embody it until the world has no choice but to accept it. That's the first step of Machiavellian mastery, to appear inevitable. Let's go deeper. Your mind is the stage manager behind this illusion. It decides how the audience, your world, perceives you. If your inner dialogue is weak, your posture follows. If your thoughts are fractured, your energy leaks. People don't need to hear your words to sense insecurity. They read it through the micro-signals you broadcast every second. Your silence, your pauses, the way you occupy space. So you train your body and voice to perform certainty even when doubt burns underneath. You slow your breathing. You still your movements. You sharpen your tone until every word sounds like a decision. This is not faking. It's discipline in motion. Because perception begins before speech. People see you long before they listen. Let that sink in. If your energy says, "I'm not enough yet," the world echoes it back. But if your energy says, "I've already arrived," the world adjusts to match that frequency. Power always rewards those who act first. Reality catches up later. The illusion is not weakness, it's architecture. Every king, every general, every leader who conquered nations built their empire on the same foundation. The illusion of certainty before the evidence of success. So stop waiting to feel powerful. Stop waiting to prove yourself. Act, project, embody. The moment you decide that your image deserves respect, the world begins rearranging itself to deliver it. Remember this line: Kings wore crowns before they earned them. Okay, it's not just poetic. Its psychological truth appear first, become second, because in this world, perception isn't just part of power, it's the seed from which all power grows, and that's how illusion becomes reality. Point 2, the power of symbolism, how appearance controls respect. Power isn't spoken, it's signaled. Before anyone hears your words, they've already decided if they'll obey you. Your appearance makes that decision for them. You can't control what people think of you, but you can control what they see. And what they see decides everything. This is the law of symbolic power, the understanding that image, tone, and rhythm rule perception long before truth ever does. Every great strategist knew this. From emperors to CEOs, from warriors to seducers, they mastered the art of appearing inevitable. They built an image so deliberate, so coherent, that even before they spoke, the world had already crowned them. You see, most people walk into a room hoping to be accepted. The powerful walk in expecting it. The difference lies in how they carry their symbols. Your symbols are everything about you that communicates without words. Your posture, your clothing, your silence, your pace, your tone. Together they form an aura, a magnetic energy that tells the room something about this person demands respect. Machiavelli understood this truth deeply. He said a ruler must appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, religious, and actually be those things only when it serves his purpose, because appearance governs emotion, and emotion governs obedience. So what does that mean for you? It means you must build your visual throne. Dress not for validation, but for dominion. Your clothing should not scream for attention. It should radiate composure, precision, and readiness. Dark tones, clean lines, silent confidence. Every piece you wear must speak your name before your mouth ever does. The weak use fashion to seek attention. The powerful use it to command it. Next comes your voice, the most underused weapon of influence. Your voice is not just a sound. It's a command frequency. When you speak quickly, you signal nervousness. When you slow down, when you let your words breathe, you become unshakable. Your tone must feel measured, grounded, deliberate. Not loud, never frantic. Power doesn't rush, it resonates. Now imagine entering a room. Most people shuffle, scan faces, wait to be acknowledged. The powerful don't wait. They own the air. They walk slower. Their gaze doesn't dart, it lands. They take up just enough space to suggest, I am here because I belong. And that energy changes the chemistry of everyone around them. You've seen it. How a single person can walk into a room and the atmosphere bends. That's not luck. That's symbolic authority. Your presence is not just seen, it's felt. Stillness becomes your weapon. Silence becomes your statement. You stop competing for attention and start controlling it. People sense when they're in the presence of someone certain of himself. They project their expectations onto you. They begin to treat you according to the image you've crafted. And that's when you stop needing to prove anything. Because once people believe you are powerful, they will start finding reasons to justify that belief. Their own psychology does the work for you. That's the brilliance of symbolic power. This is not acting, it's architecting perception. You are designing how the world experiences you. Let's strip it to the core truth. Humans are visual, emotional creatures. They respond not to logic but to signals. And when your signals are consistent, your clothing, posture, tone, silence, and rhythm, the world starts to form an image of you that feels inevitable. You become the gravitational center of the room. People adjust their pace to match yours. They lower their tone when you speak. They look for your approval without realizing why. That's how image becomes command. Machiavelli called it the performance of leadership. You aren't deceiving anyone. You are simply embodying what they already want to believe. They want to follow confidence. They want to serve clarity. They crave direction. When you give them that, visually, tonally, energetically, you become their quiet anchor. This is how symbolic mastery turns into dominance. You craft a version of yourself so intentional, so strategically consistent, that even your absence speaks louder than most people's presence. Your silence becomes a language. Your look becomes a decree. Your every pause a command. And over time, that performance fuses with identity. You no longer act powerful. You are powerful. because perception, once trained, becomes reality. Remember this: power is not what you show. It's what people believe when you show nothing at all. Build your symbols carefully. Let them do the talking. Because the man who controls perception doesn't need to raise his voice. The world listens before he even speaks. Point 3. The law of momentum. How to create the illusion of constant victory. People don't follow truth. They follow movement. They chase the man who looks like he's already winning, even if the race hasn't started yet. Here's the quiet truth about power. It doesn't belong to the smartest man. It belongs to the man who looks unstoppable. Momentum, real or imagined, is the lifeblood of authority. When people see you rising, they assume you deserve to rise. When they see your name echoing in motion, they stop questioning your worth and start protecting your image. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, meaning they trust what they see you doing more than what you actually are. So the wise man manufactures momentum long before success is visible. You might be building in silence, struggling behind closed doors, but publicly, you must move with purpose. You speak as if things are in motion. You act as if results are inevitable. Not arrogance, not lies, just psychological positioning. Because the world rewards belief in progress, not potential. Let's put it simply, you are your own marketing campaign. And momentum is your billboard. If people see you growing, they project success onto you. And once they believe you're winning, they invest their attention, respect, and resources. That's how reputation becomes empire. You've seen this dynamic everywhere. A startup that looks confident gets funded faster. A man who carries himself like a leader gets followed without question. An artist who acts like he's in demand becomes in demand. It's not luck, it's engineered inevitability. This is the law of imitation. Humans follow the scent of victory, not the logic of it. They see a man winning, and they mirror his energy. They start to imitate his rhythm, align their words to his, and before long his illusion becomes collective reality. That's how leaders are built. Not through announcements, but through perceived motion. You must manufacture this motion deliberately. Speak about your plans as if they're already unfolding. Say, I'm working on this project instead of I hope to. Walk as if your time is already fully booked. Keep your tone calm but decisive, the kind of certainty that makes others believe something is already happening. And soon, it will be. The illusion of motion triggers real momentum. It's like a current. You only need to start the flow. When people think you're in motion, they attach themselves to your direction. They want proximity to progress. They want to be near power before it peaks. That's why you must always look busy, composed, unavailable, not fake, strategically selective. The world trusts the man who doesn't have time to beg for attention. He looks valuable. He feels like someone whose world is already spinning too fast for hesitation. That's the image of dominance. Now here's where most fail. They think momentum means constant noise. It doesn't. Real momentum isn't chaos, it's controlled pace, like a predator moving through the tall grass. Silent, deliberate, but undeniable. You don't announce every step. You hint. You let the world see just enough to stay intrigued. You build suspense, not transparency. That's the rhythm of a man who commands curiosity. And curiosity is power. Think of every major figure of influence. They understood this. Give the world motion, not explanation. Show progress, not process. That way people fill in the blanks with their own admiration. They imagine your power to be greater than it is, and in doing so, they make it greater, because influence feeds on perception, and perception feeds on projection. When you act like you're ascending, the world adjusts to help you ascend. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is the Machiavellian momentum loop. Projection, perception, reaction, reality. You project success. People perceive it. They react with support and respect. Your success becomes real. That's the loop every master of optics uses. From rulers to businessmen to creators. You are never lying when you project strength. You are building belief. Belief is the most valuable currency of power. Remember, men don't follow truth. They follow confidence wrapped in motion. They don't ask if you're right. They ask if you're winning. And once you look like you're winning, They stop asking questions altogether. So create the illusion of constant victory. Even your smallest moves must appear intentional. Your posture, your words, your schedule, all radiating quiet acceleration. Make progress look inevitable, and soon it will be. That's the secret kings have always known. You don't chase momentum, you become it. The world follows the man who moves like he cannot lose. Keep moving, even if it's just perception, because perception, once believed, builds the reality it pretends to be. Point 4, confidence as a weapon. How certainty bends reality. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a signal. And the moment you project certainty, the world stops testing you and starts orbiting you. The most dangerous man in any room is not the loudest. It's the one who looks like he's already decided how things will end. That's confidence, quiet, contained, deliberate. Not ego, not noise. Just conviction so pure it silences resistance. People crave certainty. They'll abandon their own logic to stand beside whoever seems sure. It's biology. Humans are wired to follow stability, to mirror whoever carries clarity in chaos. That's why leaders rise. Not because they're always right, but because they sound like they are. Confidence bends reality because it shapes behavior. Your belief in yourself instructs others how to treat you. When your tone says, "I know," people hesitate to argue. When your eyes don't flinch, they question their doubt instead of your claim. It's not hypnosis, it's hierarchy. Confidence establishes rank before proof ever arrives. This is why Machiavelli warned rulers never to appear uncertain. Even a moment of visible hesitation invites attack. Uncertainty smells like blood to the power-hungry, but certainty, real or staged, creates armor. It makes people reconsider their aggression. Now here's the paradox. Most think confidence is built after success, but power works in reverse. Success often comes after you choose to appear certain. You project stability first and results obey, because reality follows expectation. If you act like something is possible long enough, your actions start aligning with that assumption, and the world adjusts its resistance to match your conviction. Confidence is also emotional control disguised as ease. You stay calm when others panic. You answer slowly when others rush. Your stillness says, "I am not reacting, I am deciding." And that calm infects people. They anchor to it. Watch a commander before battle. He doesn't scream. He speaks like the outcome is already known. That tone transfers certainty into his men's bones. They fight harder because they've borrowed his belief. That's how confidence multiplies, through emotional contagion. You can cultivate this. Start with body language. Keep your spine straight, movements economical. No fidgeting, no rushing. Every motion deliberate, as if time bends around you. Next, your voice. Never outrun your words. Speak as if every sentence carries weight. Lower your tone slightly, not to intimidate, but to ground. The slower you speak, the more final your words sound. Finally, your inner dialogue. Confidence dies in self-questioning. Doubt whispers, "What if I'm wrong?" Certainty answers, "What if I'm right?" Train your thoughts to lean forward, not fold inward. There's a deeper layer to this too. Confidence is also strategic illusion. Even when you're uncertain, you act like you're not. Why? Because emotion is contagious. If you show doubt, others amplify it. If you project faith, others sustain it. This doesn't mean you lie to yourself. It means you protect the energy that builds reality. You treat your confidence like a weapon, sheathed but always ready. The trick is balance. Too much confidence becomes arrogance, and arrogance invites downfall. The strong move with certainty, but remain flexible enough to adapt when new information arrives. Confidence isn't blindness. It's composure in motion. Think of it like a chess player who looks calm even when cornered. He's not pretending he can't lose. He's projecting belief that he'll find a way, and that belief keeps his opponent uneasy. That's how confidence manipulates energy. It shifts fear from you to them. It reverses power flow. When others sense you're unshaken, they start questioning themselves instead of you. Their doubt feeds your dominance. Confidence, in the Machiavellian sense, is not about being the best. It's about appearing inevitable. Every gesture, tone, and silence reinforces one message: I will win eventually. And the world, desperate for direction, aligns with that narrative, Because in a world drowning in uncertainty, certainty becomes divine. A man who doubts himself invites the world to finish the job. Project certainty, even when you're building it. Let people feel that you've already decided your outcome, and soon reality will bend to match the conviction you performed first. Point 5. The final layer. How control becomes invisible power. The highest form of power isn't loud. It doesn't need to threaten or command. It simply exists, and everyone adjusts around it. Control is not about domination. It's about direction. A true master doesn't force movement. He guides it. Like gravity, silent but absolute. At the peak of Machiavellian mastery, power becomes invisible. You no longer fight for control. People give it to you willingly, thinking it was their idea all along. This is the art of invisible influence, the ability to move others without leaving fingerprints, to speak without commanding, to win without showing that you're even playing. It begins with detachment. The man obsessed with control never holds it, because desperation leaks. The one who needs to win becomes predictable, but the one who can walk away without fear, he becomes untouchable. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means emotional discipline. You stay invested in results, but detached from approval. You're not chasing validation. You're orchestrating response. That's how invisible power is born. People try to decode you. They sense authority, but can't trace its source. You give no emotional tells, no reactions, no defensive words, no wasted movement. Just still presence that says, I know something you don't, because mystery is control. Uncertainty keeps others cautious. They reveal themselves trying to understand you, and that's when you learn how to move them. The loud leader inspires fear. The silent one inspires awe. Machiavelli wrote that a prince should always appear approachable, but never familiar. That distance maintains tension, the kind that makes people respect your boundaries without you ever needing to enforce them. Invisible control works like this. You remove resistance before it begins. You let others feel free, but you've already framed their choices. It's subtle, almost invisible. You say less. They fill in the blanks with your desired conclusion. You pause longer. They start doubting themselves. You act as if things are already decided, and they follow your lead unconsciously. That's psychological gravity. The illusion of choice is the strongest leash in power. Let people think they're choosing, while every path leads where you intended. This isn't cruelty, it's strategy. Humans resist orders but embrace ownership, so give them the illusion of freedom and they'll build your empire with pride. Invisible power also thrives on timing. You don't rush to prove a point. You wait for the moment when silence speaks louder than argument. Because in silence, imagination works for you. They start questioning themselves, replaying what you didn't say, and that uncertainty strengthens your position. Stillness becomes dominance. You control tempo, and tempo controls perception. Even in relationships, the one who stays calm during chaos automatically becomes the emotional leader. People cling to your steadiness. They begin regulating themselves around your energy. That's power without confrontation. You've shifted from performer to architect, from visible strength to psychological command. At this stage, your influence doesn't need proof. Your presence is enough. People behave differently around you without knowing why. They edit themselves. They lower their tone. They seek your validation quietly. That's not luck. That's the aura of earned stillness. When every past illusion, every signal, every silence has sculpted an identity the world now treats as authority. But here's the paradox most never grasp. The more control you need, the less you have. The more you let go, the more they bend toward you. Invisible power is built on patience, on silence, on the refusal to explain yourself. Because every explanation weakens mystery, and mystery is magnetic. The man who explains too much looks insecure. The man who speaks rarely makes every word sacred. That's how control becomes religion. Machiavelli said it best. Power is best preserved through distance and perception. You've learned by now, perception creates belief. Symbolism shapes obedience. Momentum sustains illusion. Confidence anchors perception. And now control hides in stillness. This is the final layer, when power stops needing performance and influence becomes reflex. You don't force loyalty, you inspire it. You don't chase validation, you command it. Because real control doesn't move people by hand, it moves the air they breathe. The most powerful man is the one no one dares to test, not because he threatens, but because he doesn't need to. That's where you end. Up when illusion becomes identity. When you no longer act powerful, you simply are. Closing power isn't a costume you wear. It's a frequency you radiate. You've learned how to project it, shape it, and finally become it. The world bends to those who no longer chase validation, but command perception with quiet certainty. So stop waiting to be crowned. Act as if the throne is already yours, and you'll find the world kneeling before your conviction. Because in the end, power doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the most believed. And belief is the first shadow of reality. Pause. Comment below. I no longer chase power. I embody it. Your reign begins in silence.